Good afternoon. It's coming up to 5 minutes to 5 o'clock. I'm Nana Akwe. This is GB News on TV, online and on digital radio. And it's now time for Worldview. Now, that is the part of the show where we look at what's making the headlines across the globe. And today, once again, the focus is on Ukraine as efforts continue to evacuate civilians from the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol. Now, Russia says that 46 civilians have been evacuated from the vicinity of the Azovstal steel plant. And I'm joined now by Alan Mendoza. He's the Chief Executive Director of the Henry Jackson Society, a national security think tank. Alan, let's start with the evacuation efforts in Mariupol. How difficult has this been? Because they're saying, it's getting worse. I mean, what is going on there?
Well, Putin, if you remember, promised that he would sort of seal Mariupol so tight that not even a fly could get out. Now, he's somewhat changed his tune. We've been seeing today there have been evacuation efforts under the UN. Now, some of them appear to be being evacuated to Russia. The numbers you were talking about earlier have gone to Russia in that regard. Ukraine also says a group of about 100 are supposed to be heading out further north there. So clearly there is some evacuation happening. We've got to hope it continues, because this city, which was a city of 440,000 people, is now down to about 100,000. It's been flattened. So to live there, God only knows how they're surviving. And
it's worrying because the people have been taken, they're saying about about 1 million people have been taken from the areas around Ukraine and then dispersed to different parts of Russia. And do we know how these people have been treated or where they're going? Do we have any reports of what's actually happening to those people once they've been taken from parts of Ukraine?
Well, there are reports. I mean, in some cases we're discovering that they're being put to work as labourers. In that case, in other cases they've been left alone. But clearly these Ukrainian citizens, in most cases, will not want to be in Russia. They'll want to be out back towards Western places rather than there. So God knows how we get them out.
Now, obviously, we were talking about the ruble to rubble. Putin insisted that countries pay via rubles, and now parts of Ukraine are using rubles. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on there.
Well, yes, exactly. I mean, today we learned that Kherson, the occupied city of Kherson, the Russians have announced that the ruble will henceforth be the currency that is in operation. So basically, they're looking to assimilate these territories into Russia. It's quite a big step, obviously. You're using our currency, not your own. And equally, of course, internationally, he's demanding the use of the ruble to buy gas, because that will, of course, help bolster the ruble, and he can get hold of the money, as opposed to if it's given in euros or dollars, where sanctions might bite and he might not be able to get it. So, unfortunately, we are helping his war effort by paying in rubles.
But haven't Poland and a few others refused to comply?
Yes, some have been brave and gone, no, we're not doing this, we're not going to pay in the ruble. Others, though, German companies, Italian companies, have said we will actually set up accounts in that way. So very disturbing reports all round.
Now, of course, moving across to America, Nancy Pelosi, she's talking about supporting the war effort even more. She's apparently going to have a meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Give us a bit more detail on that.
Well, you'll recall that President Biden announced that he would like to give $33 billion of aid to Ukraine. There'll be all sorts of different kinds of aid. And she's gone with a congressional delegation, being, of course, the Speaker of the House, to try and bolster that, because, of course, to get this money out, Congress will have to sort of be a part of it as well. Right. So I think she's demonstrating there is interest in Congress to support it. I'm sure there'll be Republicans who'll be supportive as well. This seems to be, on the whole, an issue that is bipartisan in nature. So I would hope that the Ukrainians will get the aid they need, they desperately need.
So where are the Ukrainians in this war at the moment? We've got reports that 25,000 Russian troops have apparently been killed. Where are the Ukrainians in this now? How are the bombs dropping now all across the Black Sea area? I mean, what is the progress now in terms of...
What we've got at the moment is a bit of a hiatus, in the sense that the Russians are not engaging in a major offence of the type you saw earlier in the war, but that what we know they're doing is regrouping in the east of Ukraine, ready to smash out anytime soon. Now, there are localised attacks going on, and we can see, as you've said, shelling and missiles occurring at various different places. Ukrainians believe they've had to adopt the missile approach because so many Russian troops have been killed that they can't really do the ground offensive in the way they used to. Now, whether that's true or not, we'll find out. But it is interesting to see how the tactics have changed.
Because there's been murmurs about nuclear and things like that, but they made the threat, but they've gone a little bit quiet on that front.
Well, those will be down the line. Putin this week did say, anyone who intervenes, you will feel our force in ways you didn't believe would be possible. So that the threat is always there. I suspect, though, that what we're going to see is one big Russian push in the east to coincide with the Victory Day, this sort of great celebration at the end of the Second World War that happens on May the 9th. And Putin will judge how he's doing at that point, and maybe he'll declare victory, or maybe maybe if he's losing, he may well go for more aggressive weapons of the kind that you mentioned.
Well, it's all a bit worrying, isn't it? We'll obviously stay close to that. Alan, thank you so much for all of that. That's Alan Mendoza. He's, of course, the Executive Director of the Henry Jackson Society. Well, if you've just joined me, I'm Nana Akwe. This is GB News. More to